Hi, everyone. Douglas Yones. We're live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange at NYSE TV for a really historic moment and a historic day here. We're in the first full week of trading of January 2024. And guess what? The very first issuer in the world of ETFs consolidated their entire lineup of ETFs directly onto the floor today. Now, what's really special is we're going to talk with the unit, the DMM unit, the actual traders that are trading the ETF over here at GTS. But let me tell you something. This started not just today. This started years ago. The very first ETF launched on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange in November of 2022. That was PIMCO's bond, B-O-N-D, the very first bond fund to come to the floor. But it started long before then. In 1993, the American Stock Exchange, one of the New York's exchanges that we run just around the corner from here, had the very first ETF launch. That was SPY. And guess what? Back then, SPY and all ETFs traded like they do on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with people. That's right, with people, human traders using the best-in-class technology. And we're bringing old school back, is what we like to say. We're going back to the future because that's what ETFs are doing now. In 2024, we're bringing the best of the markets in. So I want to introduce two of the members of the DMM unit here at GTS. First, I want to introduce Ned Zelles. Ned, you are officially, I want to get it right, Director and Head of GTS DMM Corporate Relations. Ned, I'll let you jump in, but could you tell us a little bit about the DMM unit, GTS, and what you guys work on down here?
Well, Doug, good morning. It's fantastic to be with you here today, and congratulations to the Strive team on this momentous day. GTS here, we cover 845 operating companies with a market cap of about $14.5 trillion. As you mentioned earlier, our calling card is we take best-in-class technology and mesh it with superior human judgment. We take that old school approach on a rolling basis, whether it's a common stock, an ADR, and in this case, an ETF. For us, providing that capital at the point of sale, on the opening bell, closing bell, and intraday is that last layer of defense and that human element, that human oversight that sets the exchange apart and GTS apart.
Yeah, and of course, we're talking about the Strive lineup today. 9 Strive ETFs hit the floor to add to their existing lineup, but it isn't just Strive ETFs. I mean, you're talking to other issuers. What is some of the conversations about with ETF issuers?
Sure. So after today, we've handled 16 out of the 19 ETF issues, and a lot of the conversations that we're having with issuers is around the opening and the closing and what we can do to prevent that slippage and any volatility throughout the course of trading. And we take a team approach from Gregg Maloney to Reggie Brown and Paul Weisbrush. This has been a team effort, and it's why we've had this success.
And here we are. I mean, it is a historic moment, right? We're breaking history, breaking ground. New York Stock Exchange, 231 years. Of course, there's been a lot of historical moments, but we're living it right now. I got to ask, I mean, how does that feel?
It's a tremendous, opportunity that the exchange has provided, and GTS is just honored to be part of a small part of the Strive team.
Okay, now I want to slide over now briefly before I come over to you, Greg. I just want to point out we have been measuring and tracking all of the ETFs that list down here on the floor when they move from other exchanges. And guess what? The numbers have been phenomenal. Spreads cut almost in half, and size at the inside goes up over a third, which has been incredible liquidity. And it's all thanks to the men and women that trade down here as designated market makers. I want to come over, if I can, and bug you for a second here. So I want to introduce Greg. If you could talk a little bit about your role and some of the work that you do down here for GTS.
Sure. So I'm handling all the ETFs here on the floor, and it's been tremendous. The 9 ETFs today, they opened very smoothly. We couldn't have been happier. It's such a huge day for the Strive and GTS team, and we're so excited to be a part of it. So what I'm doing on a daily basis is I'm really focused on tighter spreads and adding liquidity. And a lot of that comes around the opening auction. So the opening auction, what I'm doing is I'm looking at NAV and I'm bringing the prices and the opening print in line. Okay, so what I don't want to see is a opening very far away from NAV. So I'm using our technology, my skill set in pricing to bring that in line.
Okay, so obviously we had the brand new 9 ETFs that launched today. I don't know, 9 auctions at a time plus the other one. Does it matter to you? Is it have to be 9? Could it be a lot more? How do you think about that?
Sure, it could be a lot more. From inception, we've thought about this at GTS of building out our infrastructure, especially on the technology side, to handle as many listings that come down here. So it's not an issue at all. I have a fantastic team from the technology side, communication side, myself at the point of sale, all working together to just do a phenomenal job for these companies.
So I talked about it in the beginning. We talked about the impact human traders can have on ETFs and what we're starting to see in terms of statistics. But from your point of view, right, your career has been down here on the floor. What is it that a designated market maker, what is it you personally are providing for ETFs?
Sure. You have somebody at the point of sale who can basically adapt to the changing market environment throughout the day. You have someone responsible on the opening to really price an opening, take that liquidity, look at what the market's doing, look at what the baskets are doing, look at NAV, and really come with a fair price that both parties are happy with. And then throughout the day, I'm providing communication to our team out to these companies, all right, letting them know what it is I'm seeing, what's going on in the market, and at the end of the day, making sure nobody's caught off guard.
Ned, I want to come over to you one last time. I mean, for those that are listening in, any of our ETF issuers thinking about launching ETFs, I mean, the market's been dynamic. If they want to reach out to you or anyone else at the GTS team, who do they go to?
Sure. So here at GTS, we're client-centric, customer-focused at all times. So feel free to reach out to myself, Gregg Maloney, Reggie Brown, Paul Weisbrush, Patrick Murphy. More than happy to hold a conversation and discuss the dynamics and mechanics of what we're seeing on a regular basis.
And of course, if you don't have their information and you just want to come in through me and my team, you can find us, easy to find, ETFs at NYSE.com, or you can find us on LinkedIn, of course. Now, last year in 2023, over 500 ETFs launched across the U.S. markets, bringing in $600 billion. And guess what? For the 19 ETFs that are listed here at the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, they're getting the best liquidity profile they possibly can, all because of the designated market maker, the traders here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, providing liquidity each and every day, all live from none other than the corner of Wall and Broad Street, the home of ETFs.